Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. In this custom battle, we have a request from a subscriber. A subscriber wanted to see a defense at a particular city, and so I had a little bit of time tonight. I always love a good challenge. I loaded up a save game that had this particular instance where I could show how I would defend this city, and what follows is the result of that. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially Battlefield Command and Advanced Tactics. And we are going to have a siege defense by request for this episode. I'll explain that in a minute, but we're looking at a very large Battanian force. And I intentionally went to a castle beforehand and dumped off some of our elite troops and picked up some lower level troops here. You can see I'm not going to upgrade any of these troops. We're going to make this more difficult. Although just to have a full army, I will recruit some of these lower level prisoners here. Now this huge Battanian force, I rushed on over here hoping it was Valandia. This person was being besieged by Valandia. And he had a force, I think he said, of 400 against 2,000 strong Valandians. This is the closest thing I could find to that. But we are going to make a siege here of Lageta. And in order to make it extra difficult, we're just going to disband one of our companions here so that we can wade into battle outnumbered at least 5 to 1. Also, let's get rid of this axe. Let's see. I'd like to have 3 stacks of javelins, but what we're going to do is actually wield a makeshift sledgehammer in this battle. It's kind of what I'm doing in the Peasants Revolt as well. I think it's a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon. It's a common drop. Yeah, I can't find my javelins. Here we go. So just a makeshift sledgehammer here just to sort of mute the massive effect of my character killing people with his axe. So this could almost qualify. Actually, this would qualify for epic siege here. The garrison's pretty weak. And of course we'll run normal player damage, but this is a massive force of Battanians sieging here, and we will make a defense of this. Now this is the closest I could find in my campaign to Valandia sieging Lageta. Hopefully you'll forgive me. This is still going to represent a very difficult challenge, and the whole idea of this is to show you how I would defend Lageta. So I'm overlooking my 3 different infantry divisions here. I like to look over these guys and see who's optimally prepared to go in what spot. I've got a skirmisher division. They're actually all kind of so intermixed here. I'm going to put a square right at the edge of the castle here. We're going to have a line of infantry guarding this right side. But my main plan with this is to try to destroy that siege tower. And hopefully, if I can destroy that siege tower, I'll prevent the enemy from accessing from all 3 sides of the keep, right? They'll have... it looks like they're going to have ladders over here on the left side. So I've got the skirmishers, an archer branch, and that infantry square. And the idea with this defense is that we're basically trying to micromanage the center while we macro-manage the edge, right? What we're going to do is minimal activity on the 2 edges as possible here. I've got the 8th Corps here just in reserve. And we're going to basically try to have the left side of the keep sort of hold on its own. Right, over here, these guys are kind of autonomous. I've got an archer division, actually 2 archer divisions, because the 7th can cover both areas. The skirmishers are over there, and I may move them back and forth. And then I have the majority of our troops here towards the center. And that siege tower, that's my priority, because if the enemy is getting in on the siege tower, they're going to have 3 different ways into this city. And that's obviously going to make this keep much harder to defend. So we got, whoops, I was hoping we'd have a catapult up here. It's on the other tower here. Priority number 1 is going to be try to destroy that siege tower. Hopefully we have a good angle here. The layout of Lageta, though, is pretty solid for defense. And hopefully I can show this fella, like I'm talking directly to him. Anybody watching this, I could show you how I would defend Lageta here against a very large force. We're going to drag this cat over here, line up this siege tower, and horribly overshot our first shot. Still, we have time here. This siege tower is moving slowly, and even better for us, it's moving directly at us. So this is... shit, I'm getting shot. In fact, they knocked me off my catapult. This is not going to be a difficult siege tower to destroy. It usually takes a maximum of 3 or 4 of these direct catapult shots, and it will be down. Then look at all the tasty troops out there. We're definitely going to bombard some of these Battanian Fiend motherfuckers. Yeah, there it goes. So the tower's already down. You see the enemy scrambling over here towards the left side. We can now focus our defense on the gate and sort of occasionally micromanage that side. I guess it's the left flank here. Meanwhile, as the enemy closes in for battle, we're going to kill as many of these Battanian Fiend champs as possible. We're definitely going to do some range damage here. I can't yet throw these bombs out there, so we might as well lob them out and get 8, 10, 12 kills of Battanian Fiends and Master Archers, etc. With such a large Battanian force, right, their entire 2 or 3 first waves are all going to be tier 5. So hopefully this simulates, bud, what you're facing at Lageta. These explodable bombs, I think you only get these with siege skills of like 120 or 150. It's a perk you have to have. And if you don't have these yet, I apologize for not mirroring exactly what you're facing. Hopefully this isn't like dramatically overpowering our defense here. But I would strongly suggest that you get 150 siege skill on your primary engineer. Looks like we can fire off a handful of more rounds here before... Oh shit, they're already starting to move. We have a premature ejection there of that bomb. All right, so I'm going to throw a handful of bombs here, and then I'm going to start to micromanage that far side. And what I mean by micromanage it is very temporary. I'm going to run over there and effectively make sure that the killing machine that we've set over there is working correctly. So I set up, if you don't remember, I set up the 6 skirmishers in the courtyard. There's an archer corps, I think it's the 4th or 5th. Well, it's one of those 2 for sure. The 7th archer is on this ramp right ahead of me here. And these guys are what I call dual killers. These guys are getting pelted with javelins. That's okay. I see a companion's got like 3 or 4 of them sticking out of her. She's tough. The shields here are absorbing javelins. But you see what's going on here. The archers are absolutely pounding the enemy as they come up that ladder. We've also got an infantry line here holding a square, and what that's doing is it's going to prevent the enemy from ripping through here and attacking our archers, right? These archers here are very vulnerable, but not if they have an infantry square in front of them, right? That infantry square is going to completely protect them. Now the enemy's sort of bursting through the gate here, so we're going to call the 6th division up, right? It's behind me. These guys will be coming in our direction. And we need these guys because there's more guys coming through the gate than I thought was going to happen. The enemy is able to sort of sneak by our square here, and they're pouring in. This is priority 1, right? When you got guys rampaging in your courtyard, kill these guys in a hurry. Fortunately, they're being shot by archers. The 6th Corps is now here to charge, and these guys, between them, myself, and the archers, we're going to be able to mop these guys up quick. They're paying me no attention, which is always a bad decision. Even with just a sledgehammer, it's still pretty lethal. And up there, you can actually see our archers are now attacking them too, because that infantry line reached our archers up there and they fight back. Oh shit, I almost killed my companion. Alright, so the Battanians here are sort of coming in the edges of our square. What we're going to do here is basically leave them a little bit of room to maneuver here and just enough rope to hang themselves. These guys coming through here, as long as they're not in huge waves, are basically perfect because we've set up a death machine. I have skirmishers behind me pelting these guys with javelins. You see them trying to hold their shields up. Above them is archers, so there's arrows. I can actually see the arrows raining over my shoulder here, and it's pounding the guys. On the other side is an archer division, so if anybody gets clear, these crossbowmen and archers are shooting. And right here I have this 3rd division, which has a mix of heavy infantry and shock troops, just ready to attack, to sandwich the enemy as soon as they get in off the edges of this blocking infantry. It's the 2nd Infantry Division, I think, that's holding the center here. And anytime I send in this 3rd Corps, it basically just slams the door shut on the invaders. Skirmishers are holding this side. And in a tiny way, this is a bit of a variation of a castle version of a false gap, right? It looks like there's a gap, the enemy tries to take it, and they get mauled. Pick up some extra javelins here, and we want them trickling in, right? If you completely block the gate, your units actually will slowly die through attrition, right? They're fighting tier 5 units one-on-one in the gatehouse. You don't want that. You want them like this, holding defense, Yeah, see, these guys are running out the gate, pull them back. So I tell them to give way. That's F1, F5. That makes the guys come back into the castle. Then once they're safely in, I'll reposition them sort of on that right flank. And what we have here now is effectively a death trap. If the enemy comes through that front gate, they're shot by those archers. The javelins pound them in the side here. If necessary, I can close the door by charging with the 6th and the 3rd. Now, I'm saying that out loud, but I would say that almost to myself if I was playing this in my own campaign. Okay, the 6th and the 3rd, the 6th and the 3rd. If I start seeing a massive amount of death spam, there's only one place it could be happening. It's not happening here. The enemy just can't penetrate this square. They're confused. They're not able to get through it. They're being mauled by archers over there. There's 2 different archer lines shooting at them from different angles, right? So you can see them just getting absolutely smoked. If I start seeing death spam while I'm over here, that's at the gate. So what I will do is then charge with the 1st, or excuse me, charge with the 3rd and charge with the 6th. These guys are just sitting ducks down here, just asking for some boulders chucked on their face. And in this situation, we've kind of reduced this siege to a science. The enemy at the gate is fucked if they charge. These guys right here are definitely fucked. The only way they could possibly come up here is if they develop a huge shield wall. But I'm going to be... I punched that guy. I'm going to be checking on this, right? And if they start to develop a huge shield wall, we will aggressively attack it. We will attack it with infantry. I will wade in. If necessary, I'll bring the skirmishers from the other side. Look at this guy coming up. Yeah, have a seat. And we will massacre them on this side as well. Now, those archers in the courtyard are paramount over here. As soon as I remove those archers from here, this strategy will fail, right? So you want to keep those archers there, and if they get attacked, immediately help them. If for some reason the enemy gets down here in a shield wall, like if you have less archers or weaker archers, you want to protect those guys. With this archer support, you know, I'm not invulnerable, but I'm much more difficult for the enemy to deal with, just because they're getting hit with so many arrows. Okay, there's another huge crush of enemy coming at the gate here, but that's what we want, right? We have this death trap set up. It's not guaranteed, right? I still lose sieges even if I set up this configuration, but this is a pretty brilliant configuration. As I humbly say so myself. All right, so we have this 5th division. Here's the other thing I can do too. I can share these guys between these 2 spots. What I did right now is I stretched them out further so that they can help us with this front gate. They now have enfilade fire from the ground on this side, archers on the other side, archers above me from behind, skirmishers behind me, the 3rd division on the other side, and this square, actually it's just a shield wall holding this main line. The enemy's in a bad way here. I'm launching guys to the ground with my hammer. Look at this guy chasing after me. Get on your back. And the enemy in this situation is in really bad shape. The death spam is 95% green. Anytime I want, I can charge with the 8th Corps, right? I have the 8th Corps, I barely even mentioned them. That's my elite units over there. So without unbalancing the game, right, I don't even need to use those guys. Now let's pull this infantry back a little bit and see what happens if there's a bit of a breach. Right, let's put them in a square. We'll send the 3rd division in on this side. We'll send the 6th in on this side, and we'll see how this all does. We'll have a little brawl here. The enemy's getting shot. You see these archers there are just absolutely lighting the enemy up. Any guy that they get light of sight on, it's getting, you know, they're getting shot at like point blank range. I can bring the 8th Corps up here as well for another, for just a whole nother lever to pull. Now the enemy's starting to push out here further than I want. So what can you do? You can form a square and shove that shit right up to the fucking front door. I also have the 6 skirmishers attacking here, right? So it's a maelstrom of different units attacking the enemy. I still see the archers shooting in over here. I occasionally will glance over there to make sure those guys aren't getting mauled. And the enemy here is in a really bad way at the gate. Now, I haven't even had time to throw those boulders that are usually on the 2nd or 3rd level above these guys, but that's just another lever I can pull here to kill people. You know, in a castle defense, you very are much like a mad scientist trying to figure out, like rubbing your hands together and cackling crazily while you figure out new and devastating ways to annihilate the enemy. Here we effectively have a false gap with massive enfilade archer fire, projectile fire. I still see the javelin throwing guys throwing javelins. And that's why I love the Britannian wildlings. Okay, so I see fighting up here. These archers are fighting. That means the enemy's pushing through more up there than I want, and this might be why. I borrowed these archers. Remember I said earlier those archers are paramount? Well, if you pull them too far away from this wing, let's see how far the enemy... Look at the enemy's almost destroyed the square. So I'm going to have to help over here. I've got these skirmishers. We can simply have these guys do double duty. Although I see the gate is being charged still. So the gate is the priority here. This is a situation where both instances are important, but the gate is more important. So in we come. The skirmishers are right behind me. They're told to charge, and bottling the gate out overrides the fact that maybe on the left flank we're going to start to lose it there. See me bounce back and protect my archers, right? You want to protect those guys when they're being mauled. And they look like they're okay over there. I'm going to take a peek still because the 6th division, the skirmisher division, is in there charging. And I want to see what damage the enemy's doing here. It looks like, okay, it looks like we've sorted it out. There's a big pile of Battanian bodies here. So reforming the square and then back to the front gate here. And the gate's getting messy. That's predictable, right? You're never going to hold like a perfect defense. The enemy's going to pour through. But your goal, of course, I don't need to tell you this in a keep siege, is to obtain a high KDR, right? You want to kill 8, 10, 12, 15 guys for every guy of yours that's being killed. The enemy's really pushing through here, but I think this is going to be their detriment. Remember, they're charging down there where archers are lined out. The 5th archers are still over there, so if they charge that way, they're going to get a lot of arrows in the face. Now it's a little bit of a crisis. Who can I call in? My 8th Corps, right? This is my best guys. None of them are damaged or injured. Most of them probably have all their ammo, javelins, and whatnot. Into battle they go, and the gate will be sealed once these guys attack. They're trying to get a little better angle on the enemies coming through the gate here. I've got archers on both sides, the 4th division on the far side there, the 5th division right behind me. You want angles on the enemy. We'll put the 6 skirmishers back. The square is holding up beautifully. Now, unfortunately, I don't see a huge amount of low-level troops. In fact, I see no low-level troops in our army. And if you're fighting with 400 troops, again, I'm speaking to the guy who requested this siege defense. If you're fighting with 400 low-level troops against 2,000 elite Valandians sieging, best of luck to you, I guess. I would still perform very similar tactics that we're doing here. I just don't know if you can win with a bunch of peasants and volunteers. If you don't have proper skirmishers, I'm not sure you're going to be able to win this kind of a giant scrum against elite Valandians. You can't pull off miracles with tactics. You can pull off impressive victories, but probably not miracles. You see the enemies bottled up here. If they get through, they're shot. The 8th division mauls them, right? My elite division's ready to maul them. And get off this guy. And whether I'm talking to you, that requested this, or just anybody watching this, I encourage you to develop this kind of elite reserve unit, right? You can have these guys basically at your ready. Well, there's the proverbial guy killed. Whoops, we're killing multiple guys here. Argyle would be proud. This guy says that in order to ensure future victory, we must sacrifice some of our own troops. Well, mission accomplished here. So we'll pull our units back here so they're not getting mauled in the gatehouse. I don't need to hit my own guys with my own stones, but the enemy's really starting to pour up to the gate. So you'll see me like a yo-yo. You'll see me tell my units to attack again. You don't want the enemy overrunning the gate. I mean, I know that's common sense, but it's a vital point. If 100 guys, even just 100, get loose in your courtyard, the battle's kind of over. You might be able to recover, but in a lot of tight sieges, a simple a dam burst like that is often fatal. Now this is a manageable dam burst, right? There's a handful of guys out here. This is the kind of dam burst we want. It's more of a dam trickle, right? The enemy's kind of trickling around the edges here, and we're doing major damage to them as they do so. It's 10 guys instead of 70. You can see every other guy is shot with an arrow. This might be a mediocre hammer, but man, with 332 handed skill, it's still pretty lethal. It's trucking guys to the ground. I'm killing every other guy it hits. I'm hitting 2 guys at once. This is lethal. The other side is holding too, so I can just sit here and focus on the main gate. Archers are in good position. We can charge again with the 8th Corps. We can get these guys involved in this fucking scrum. The enemy's really trying to push through here, so it's vital that we get a big assault here on them. I can call that infantry division from the other side, but I really don't want to. Right? We don't want to pull away from our automatic killing machine over there. What? They might be running. They sure look like they're routing. This might have been such a bad beating. That 4,000 whatever 700 Battanians. Wow, they're already fleeing. I mean, that's about as bad of a beating as you can give a sieging force. What did we lose? 200 troops? We lost 100 troops and killed 2,200. Right, so a 22 to 1 KDR. This is an absolutely destructive massacre here. And this is with a kind of a nerfed army, right? I brought in some lower level troops. Granted, a lot of them never even saw the battlefield. Our high level troops, they're laughing. You know, they held the ground so well. Obviously, I'm aware that my companions play a huge role in siege like this. I charged numerous times with the 8th Corps. These bloodthirsty guys are out for vengeance. Maybe I'll try this battle or a similar battle with the custom, in a pure custom battle, right? Using like all scrubby troops and stuff like that. But hopefully for now, this effort satiates the desire of this individual. I can't remember your name. I apologize. Who wanted to see me defend Lageta? Now, if you want to see a particular city defended, let me know. I'm willing to take on challenges from time to time. This was fun. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Please like and make comments and all that good stuff. And I will see you friends next time.